An American who set up shop in Bangalore armed with just 7 cars. With a presence in 35 cities and an annual growth of about 70%, he has zoomed ahead and established India's largest car rental service. Today at Marriott Whitefield, let's get in the driver's seat with Greg Moran, co-founder and CEO of Zoomcar. Hi Greg, welcome to Legendspeak.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Thank you for coming. You went from specializing in energy and sustainable development to founding Zoomcar, a self-driving car rental startup. How did this change take place?
It started with energy in terms of solar, wind, energy storage, and some of the associated technologies there. I felt that transportation was a space which was definitely lagging in some ways compared to energy, and so saw this opportunity within collaborative consumption, within car sharing, now within multiple modes of mobility, and saw this as the natural extension and next step.
Do you think people are opting out of buying cars nowadays? What is the trend you foresee with regards to car ownership in the next few years?
People who are under 35 today, especially, they are not valuing ownership. They're not valuing ownership with cars. They're not valuing ownership as it relates to furniture. They're not valuing ownership as it relates to their houses in many cases. And I think what people are really looking at is 2 things. It's about experiences and how I can enable experiences through mobility, and it's about access. I mean, you want to have access to a car. You want to have access to a 2-wheeler. You want to have access to nice lodging, nice house. And so I think that's where you see this paradigm shift.
So the Indian consumers are unique in their own right. What is your advice to new startups dealing with new customers?
There's no such thing as an Indian customer. There's several different types of Indian customers. I mean, when you have 29 states, right, and you have so many different languages and so many different microcultures, etc. As a result of that, I think what's most important is that you have to experiment early on, but you really have to listen and take feedback in a very structured way, which can be actioned. And you have to have a very sort of fast iteration cycle and feedback loop, because if you have that, I think you're able to tackle some of these consumer challenges much better. And then finally, I would just say that you have to be transparent with your user.
What is the best business advice you've ever received?
You have to instill empathy everywhere. What that does is it improves productivity, it again improves velocity and speed.
And on that note, what is the worst business advice you've ever received?
Prioritizing profitability too soon is actually totally devastating for a business. But if you have growth, then you have a much better chance for profitability anyway.
Right, and finally, your startup journey in one word.
I would say resilient.
Greg, thank you so much for your time. It was lovely talking to you.
Cool, thanks so much for having me.
And here's a small token of appreciation on behalf of Carlton, because you're truly the new face of business.
That's very nice, thank you. Thanks.
Business isn't about playing it safe. Today, business is about packing new ideas, breaking rules, and reaching new destinations. Carlton Luggage, the new face of business.